Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Reverend Therese Lee. This is Unity Spiritual Center, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. Thank you for being with us, whatever time, whatever day it is that you are sharing your consciousness. We are grateful. Let's close our outer eyes, take a moment, and let's start our time together in prayer. And so we breathe into this moment and we say thank you. Thank you for the presence of each other during this time, whatever time that is that we're sharing together. Thank you for Unity Spiritual Center, Hilton Head, and for all that we are willing to understand and apply to our lives as we live practically in a world that needs us. And we pray this in the name, after the nature, and under the authority of the living, loving presence that is you and that is me. And so it is. Amen. Reverend Therese, Unity Spiritual Center, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. Please let us know where you're from in the box, if you have a prayer intention. If you would like to receive our e-news, let us be in touch with you. Our website is www.unityofhiltonhead.org. Thanks for being with us today. We have been studying the book Divine Audacity, written by our colleague, Reverend Linda Martella-Whitsett. And Linda really does believe that each of us is audacious, that each of us is the very light of God expressing. I also believe this, and I know it with you and for you until you know it for yourself. The 12 powers are the gifts that we come loaded in with when we arrive in this world, this earthly plane, I should say. And we do nothing to get them. We just have to call them forth from within to engage them and allow us then to make manifest out into our world, the divine aspects of us. We don't tell you what to think in Unity. We ask you to think and then think and question what it is that you are thinking. So the divine attributes, the faculties of mind, the 12 powers, the 12 lights is what we're calling them in this series. And today we're going to be talking about the light of order, divine order, and how it shows up in our life so that we can live from a place of expanded consciousness, bigger hearts, and on purpose. Linda says she hopes that we all live boldly, audaciously, as we are the expressions of God in the world. Are you willing? That's my favorite question. You know that. Last week we talked about the light of strength, the power of strength. And out of the inner stillness of this light of strength, then comes the natural ordering of our life. And that's what we'll be talking about today. The spiritual quality of poise. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, calls it a balance and ordering of this life as we do every day to reconcile and balance our humanity with our divinity. And of course, we're divine first, spiritual beings, and having a human experience. Our Unity co-founder, Charles Fillmore, says that the natural ordering of life that we'll be discussing is an inner evolution of the soul, which makes perfect sense, doesn't it? He calls it an involution. So we go inside first to then evolve outside of us. to evolve our consciousness. Involution, Fillmore says, always precedes evolution. And that which is involved in our mind evolves through matter. So we know that this quality of order is built into all of our lives. It's the architecture of the universe. We can see that when we look outside of us into the planets, and just how magnificent after a rain, the next order of business is a rainbow. Isn't that great? It's so fabulous. And yet I bet some of us, I know I have, experienced life as if circumstances feel out of order. Right? And you might say, you know nothing about my life, and you're right, I don't. All I know is these principles and these powers help us live life, no matter what it is our life looks like on the outside, because we get all in order on the inside. So I'm wondering, can it really be out of order if in fact we're right where we're supposed to be at the right and perfect time, which is now? Are you willing? So I wanted to find out, what could we talk about in the matter of order? And I went and found some things by Eric Butterworth and Charles Fillmore and Emily Cady. And it starts like this: God works through each of us. I think we can all agree to that, right? And in the beginning, before the worlds were framed, no doubt every soul had its identity in God, of God, right? And no doubt, as a perfect mind, that of God, the great creator, allowed then each of our souls to make manifest in, through, and as each of us as part of the order of the heavens. And heaven is where? Everywhere present. The very presence of you and of me. And you and I, in this humanness that we're having, we are given the power, the light of dominion over that which happens unto us, that happens in, through, and as each of us. I love this. Fillmore says, we have but to gaze into the azure vault spread out above us. So imagine this blue vault spread out above us, right? Think of a sunny, sunny day in which is held in space thousands of harmoniously revolving planetary systems, much greater than what we are on here in Earth. And then as we do this, as we study space, we study things greater than us, we get to catch an idea of sureness and the magnitude of the divine law of order. Fillmore goes on to say that what's of vital interest to you and me, however, is that the perfect person, you and I, the identity that was created in the divine mind, capital D, capital M mind of the Creator, which you and I call God, in the beginning, way back when, was established in the law of divine order. How else is God going to be expressing in the world except through you and me? And it outpictures as you and me. Isn't it great? I think it's so great. Excuse me. You and I, when we get ourselves centered in our Christ conscious mind, can see that the perfection comes forth in, through, and as us according to the law of consciousness. right? So I'm not in charge of your consciousness. You're not in charge of mine. And we have these great unity tools that help us assume our mastery over our individuality so we can then become the great manifestation of the I am that each of us is. I love this stuff. So just as sure, Myrtle Fillmore says, order is heaven's first law. Now remember, heaven is everywhere present. So of course, order would in fact make it all the more enjoyable. Yes? And then you and I get to maintain this law as it unfolds, as each of us grow and evolve and make manifest and touch others' lives. That's what happens. You and I, the expression of the great I am. Fillmore goes on to say, while our consciousness sometimes can be a little out of order, we might say, yet another time, maybe all of us and the powers we have in us seem to be running amok, so to speak, with personal ambitions, a desire for greatness, which aren't bad things. It's just the manner from within that directs us on how to be that. Are we doing it from our ego mind or are we doing it from our divine mind? We get to choose always and in all ways. So what we want is for that quickening power of spirit to check our order, right? And how it is that we're showing up so that step by step, we are unfolding into the perfect expression of God that each of us is. I'm a unique expression. You are a unique expression. Our affirmation for today is I am a unique, unrepeatable expression of God. So say it with me, please. I am a unique, unrepeatable expression of God. If you are sitting with other people, turn and say it to them. You are a unique, unrepeatable expression of God. So while we're here in the natural order of life happening in, through, and as us, and of course, all around us, because remember, it's not what's happening outside of us, it is our response to it, right? Rather than our reaction to it. We saw a lot about reactions in the news this week, didn't we? Of things that happened at the Oscars. And as we know, everybody has an opinion. Are we willing to shift our thinking so that we can see things through the eyes of knowing that divine order is happening right here, right now? It gives us a leeway, Butterworth says, to complete the personal prominence that has its way through us that thinks we need to be great. Be who you are right here, right now. Breathing into the knowing of the divine law of order, the sequence that is never affected by the outer happenings. We stay centered. We stay prayed up. We stay washed up and hydrated too, right? And then what happens is we find a swiftness of this stillness and poise that we talked about last week, calling forth the light of strength to then help us maneuver out into the world, engaging our intellectual discernment, right? And knowing yet again, over and over and over, the source of our good is all that is of God. It's our stinking thinking that gets it all goofed up, isn't it? It is. Are you willing to make manifest in your consciousness the forever reminder that first and foremost, every day, always and in always, is your relationship with the God of your understanding? I hope that is a God of love and peace and a breathing of calm. So back in the day, right, when the Gospels were written, but what we know is that stories started being told. The divine law of order attunes each of us to the mind of God within, so that the light and the joy can make manifest, play through us out into the world. It brings healing to ourselves, to our body, to our minds. Are you willing? Are you willing? The divine law of order, Butterworth says, working in the subconscious, unearths buried treasure and talents, hidden powers of the gifts of being made manifest right here and right now. We get to allow that the divine order will give us hope. They will abolish fear and despair. Are you willing? So in short, we get to have a changeless law of order, just like God is unchangeless, right? Never change, always constant, always, always, always. Are you willing? The light of order in cooperation with the other 12 lights that are within us. So we have talked about how these lights develop through our I am individually within us, uniquely, right? As expressions of God. And they accumulate in consciousness. And I do it as if it all means up here, but it's really throughout our whole body. Adjusting the power of spirit within us and through us and as us. And it demands from us a dedication to temper our wisdom and good for all the discernment that we're going to do with everybody in our lives. Wisdom and discernment are absolutely necessary for us to allow the unfolding of our Christ consciousness. And Christ consciousness is our highest consciousness, that of love within us. Divine order as our power allows the light of this power of discernment to be given to the spirit that expresses as you and as me. The light of will works with the light of understanding, and then works together with the light of zeal to be tempered with the wisdom and illuminates out from us. What I love about the unity teachings is they all intersect. One builds on the other, drawing forth. We get to transcend all that no longer serves us and engage and include all of those things as we go up the spiral of consciousness. In the next couple weeks, we have two more of the faculties. One is elimination and one is life. Of course, they would be the last two that we're going to discuss. We get to cast off the things that don't serve us. And then we move into the light of life. Let's live while we're alive. Let's let go all the stuff that doesn't serve us so we can, in fact, shine out our light of Christ consciousness. And you're thinking, well, wait, how am I supposed to do this? Well, again, we call forth all of those attributes that we have within us, the faculties of mind that we've named. And we study and we meditate and we get to the awareness that spiritual laws unfold as us through our awakening of the awareness within each of us of the realization of God and our relationship to God. Probably not hearing this on other pulpits this morning, unless it's another Unity one. Are you willing to develop, acknowledge, understand, uncover your relationship with the great Creator? In Unity, we call that God. What we know is that the inner realization, right, the involution of this corresponds with how it is joy, peace, love, and all those attributes show up and make manifest in our outer life. The nature of God is revealed as you and as me, expressing into the world. Are you willing? So take a moment and close your outer eyes. And let's move from our head to our heart. And if it helps to put your hand on your heart, go and do that. Or bow your head. That means moving from our head to our heart space. And breathe. We know that each time when we take a moment apart to understand the greatness of the Unity teachings, to allow for the application of these teachings onto our lives, we ignite, we draw forth the inner knowing, the truth of who each of us is. In the time of silence, in the time apart, we allow order to fill our heart, to captivate the joy within us, encircle our souls, and allows ourselves to be guided out into the world, affirming order. So do that to yourself. Say, I affirm order. And let's go into the silence. I affirm order. I affirm order. And so we breathe and bring our attention back to this time and this place, these sacred and holy grounds we call Unity Spiritual Center Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. We're grateful for your presence. We are grateful for your practice of generosity as you're so moved. On our website, www.unityofhiltonhead.org, where there's a practice generosity button using your credit card or PayPal. Or snail mail. Love the notes. Thank you for your kind notes and cards. P.O. Box 1392, Bluffton, South Carolina, 29910. And so it is. We are grateful for you being with us today. Let us say our prayer for protection, first for ourselves and then for the world. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love of God. The power of God protects me. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over me. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. And because God is, we let it be. And now for our world. The light of God surrounds everybody. The love of God enfolds everybody. The power of God protects everybody, and the presence of God watches over everybody. Wherever everyone is, God is. And because God is, we let God be. Thank you for being with us. Reverend Therese signing off, Unity Spiritual Center, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina.